Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 12, Chapter 18. Friends You Need. While in this transient world, wading through joy and grief, man has sore need of someone of his kind to whom he can communicate his feelings, with whom he can share his discoveries and depressions, his moments of bliss and sorrow, to be by his side while trekking the hard road to truth and peace, encouraging and enthusing him towards the goal. Who is one's true friend? Who is one's false, fake friend? It is clear, as understood today, friendship and friends are far off the mark of the ideal. Friends who can confer real counsel, comfort, and consolation are precious gifts rarely found today. A friendship knit by monetary bonds is disrupted as soon as you ask the loan to be repaid. So when you oblige your friend with a loan, the friendship too is broken at that very moment. How can friendship be cemented by words or by coins? Hearts must understand hearts. Hearts must be drawn to hearts if friendship must last. Friendship must bind to hearts and affect both of them beneficially, whatever may happen to either, loss or gain, pain or pleasure, good fortune or bad. The bond must survive all the blows of fate. It must be unaffected by time, place, and circumstance. Each must correct the other, for each knows that they come from sympathy and love. Each must be vigilant that the other does not slide from the ideal, cultivating habits that are deleterious, or hide thoughts and plans that are productive of evil. The honor of each is in the safekeeping of the other. Each trusts the other and places reliance on the other's watchful love. Only those deserve the name friends. Those who help in uplifting life, cleansing ideals, elevating emotions, and strengthening resolves. Those who drag you into pomp, pedantry, paltry entertainment, and petty pranks are enemies, not friends. Friends cannot be got by social status, financial squandermania, outer scintillation, and verbal assertions. See into the very soul, the inner motives and motivator, the deeper aspirations and achievements, and then yield your loyalty to such. The friendship between Kuchela and Krishna. You might have heard of the friendship between Kuchela and his classmate Krishna. How could the friendship between these two survive the immense gap between their worldly positions and their spiritual status? Krishna was God incarnate. Kuchela was a mere man. Krishna was a ruler, a kingmaker, an unsurpassed hero, monarch, and preceptor. Kuchela was so poor that he was ever at his wits' end to procure his next meal. They had studied together for a few years at the hermitage of the sage Sandipani. They had sown the seed of friendship. So his wife sent him to Krishna, assuring him that he would not be turned from the door. Kuchala agreed to proceed, but he hesitated long to send word that he had come. Even when the guardsman inquired why he had come and who he was, how could he, a broken, bent, befogged beggar, dare stand before the Lord in his palatial hall, with its jeweled throne, and announce himself as a friend? He was aghast at his own audacity. Only God can be the true friend of man. But all his fears melted away when Krishna recognized him and came forward to receive him. Warmly and with evident joy, Krishna filled him with supreme bliss by his words, his acts of hospitality, and his attitude of hearty welcome. Krishna also blessed his wife with enormous wealth and comfort, peace, prosperity in quantity much more than ever she hoped or prayed for. No one asked him for it, but his love took that shape. His grace awarded them the happiness. But Kuchala was ever content with the friendship of Krishna. He never desired anything other than that. He was overwhelmed with delight when he experienced the compassion and love of the Lord. The feeling of friendship must activate every nerve, permeate every blood cell, and purify every emotional wave. It has no place for the slightest trace of egotism. You cannot elevate the companionship which seeks to exploit or flees for personal benefit into the noble quality of friendship. Perhaps the only friend who can pass this rigorous test is God. To understand and practice this noble emotion, the Bhagavad Gita is an invaluable guide. When Arjuna was dispirited and dejected, Krishna injected courage and a sense of duty into him and helped him avoid disgraceful defeat. And Arjuna too, like a good friend, took the advice in good spirit, with the full confidence that Krishna meant well by him. Why, we know how confident he was of the wisdom and power inherent in Krishna. When Krishna gave him the choice to help you in battle, you can have either my entire army or myself alone, unarmed and determined not to fight in spite of any provocation. And Arjuna did not hesitate to decide which of these two he wanted. He chose the unarmed Krishna and prayed that he might be his charioteer during the days when he rode into the battlefield. Friends who stand witness for ages. Long ago, there was a person who had 3 friends. Quite by accident, he was charged for some crime and a warrant was issued against him by the court. He approached one friend and asked him to bear witness to his innocence. He said, "I will not move out of this house. I can help you only from within this." The second friend said, "I can come only up to the porch of the court. I will not enter the witness box." The third friend said, "Come, I shall speak for you wherever you want me to." The first friend is property and possessions, which can bear witness only from within the house. The second is the kinsmen, the members of the family, those who come as far as the cemetery but would not accompany the person to the judgment seat. The third friend is the fair name earned by one's virtues and services. These persist even after the death and burial. They stand witness for ages and announce the innocence and greatness of the individual. They decide the nature of the next birth too. Young as you are, you must make effort to acquire good friends and keep them. Do not postpone this task, listening to some elders who advise that the path of spirituality can well be trodden later when you have retired from active life. They say that you can take on hand the Bhagavad Gita when you have grown old. But that advice is like telling a nation that it can afford to wait until war is declared to train an army to counter the enemy. Long years of preparation are needed to have an army that can meet any contingency. Otherwise, if arms are distributed to the untrained, it spells disaster even to the person wielding the arms. Have God as your unfailing guide and friend. The good deeds and thoughts that one welcomes and entertains during the years of life will stand in good stead, firm like a good friend, when one is nearing the end. So you, young men and women, must resolve to engage yourselves in acts that promote your peace and progress, and the peace and progress of all mankind. Do not damage your future by pursuing temporary benefits and selfish aggrandizement. Yearn for and earn good friends who will keep you on an even keel. Have above all God as your unfailing guide and friend. The heart of the gopis had struck deep roots in the love of Krishna, and when Akrura came to Gokul to take Krishna with him to Mathura, the gopis struggled heroically to keep him with themselves. They held on to the steeds of the chariot. They gripped the wheels and sought to prevent them from moving. Friendship is the expression of unshakable love, love that is noble, pure, free from desire or egoism. I bless you that you may have such friendship from others, and that you too make others happy by granting this holy type of friendship. Brindavan, May 24, 1973.